Hey guys, welcome back. Last week I said it was episode 3, but I actually think this is episode 5. So, welcome back to episode 5 of It's Not About Your Hair, where we talk all things hair, heart, and happiness. So, today we're going to talk about blame. So, for those of you who may be sensitive, you might not like this topic. So this topic most often causes adversity in my household because this topic is very much a central theme for how we choose to show up. What I mean by that is how we show up in anything is how we show up in everything. So if something bad happens to you, is your default to blame somebody else? And I'll just use an equation or an example here in my own family. So a lot of times in situations, my kids will come home and they'll be telling me about something that happened. And they'll always, because this is human nature, will always want to start with what someone did to us. And my parenting mode, which I'm not saying is right, and we'll talk about that, but is always to say, well, what did you do? To which they'll say, you never take my side. You never take my side. And you always, my oldest especially says, you always want me to be at fault. I don't want you to be at fault. So listen to me if you're watching this today. This may hit you somewhere in the feels. This may make you feel like I'm doing this at you. This may make you feel yucky. But here's the truth, you guys. Blame is a B. It's nasty. All it does is get in the way of us having the best life for ourselves. Blame makes us a victim. Blame makes us stuck. Blame is, quite frankly, bull. You know. My kids are going to watch this, so I'm going to try and simmer down on the swear words, but blame is bullcrap. And here's the thing, it might have happened to you. That person might be a jerk. It does not give you the right to be a jerk back. It does not give you the right to make a series of choices for the rest of your gall-darn life tied to that person's bullcrap. And that's what I see all too often, you guys. If you are an adult and the decisions you're making as an adult are still based off of the way that your parents parented you, that's you. That's you. And if they fell short of what you thought you should have had as a parent, and believe me, even the best parents, I think the kids say they fell short. If you're walking around today still blaming that on them, and you're living your life according to the way that they treated you 20, 30 years ago, that's you. You have to overcome that stuff. You have to take those things that you're blaming and find a way to spin them around to use them better. So blame keeps us stuck in a past victim mentality. So this holiday season, we're coming into Christmas. You see my tree in the background. I know that for a lot of people, Christmas brings on a lot of feelings. You're surrounded by family that may or may not trigger blame. You're surrounded in situations that maybe you have shame because you're to blame. And we show up in those situations heavy or expecting to feel heavy, expecting that someone owes us something. Anyways, we expect, and so we show up and we meet that gap. That gap is filled by what's going on. So I'm going to give a very personal example, and I'm going to share it because you guys, you know what? I'm not alone. And that's the whole point of this series, you guys, is that there is someone out there stuck. And I hate being stuck. And I hate blaming. So here's my personal story that ties into Christmas. And I'm not telling you this to feel sorry for me. I'm telling you this because it doesn't matter. So my dad left on Christmas Eve when I was 13. Christmas Eve. And in my mom's side of the family, Christmas Eve, my mom has 13 brothers and sisters, is legit like a Hallmark movie for me. Anyways, because everybody shows up with their own perspective of things. But Christmas Eve, we all get together, 70 of my cousins, my aunts and uncles. We have a talent show where the kids play their musical instrument to my cousin, who's a beautiful singer, and my kids who sing. And everyone sings Christmas carols. And my aunt puts all these costumes on the kids, and she reads the story of Jesus's birth, and the kids are in star costumes and they're shepherds, and this is real life. That really happens. And sometimes my uncle gets out his little tractor and takes the kids on a hay ride out to their farm. Like, it's real. This is my life. That's a portion of it, you guys. But this other portion of Christmas Eve was that my dad left. And he really left, like, for a long time. And for a lot of years. Oh, and then there's one other. The third one is that it's Jesus's darn birthday. So there's 3 things I can remember on Christmas Eve. And so for a lot of years, Christmas Eve was the most painful day for me. All that I remembered on Christmas Eve was that day. And because of that day, I stood outside at my aunt's party for many years, smoking cigarettes, which I don't do anymore. Looking in the window at something that I felt like I wasn't a part of. I saw other families that had a mom and a dad, and it made me mad and jealous. And I saw other families that looked like they had it all together. And I stood outside like this, bitter and angry and sad and broken and mad. And I missed out on what was happening in there because I was outside feeling sorry for myself, blaming my dad, my mom, hating my aunts and uncles that were still married, feeling all kinds of things. But you know what? It mostly made me feel like I didn't belong anywhere. Me blaming all of those moving parts made me feel like I didn't belong, that I didn't have a place. I didn't have a place at the Christmas party because my family was broken. Guess what? Every family's broken, even your favorite one. Feeling like sad because my dad didn't care. And the truth of that is, he probably did care a whole bunch, but he was going through his own process. So I love him. I didn't for a long time know how to, but I do because I understand that hurt is real for everyone. And one day I decided, after years of therapy and reading lots of books, that I was going to quit smoking and that the day belonged to exactly where I was in my life. That I had a place inside that house with all my cousins and all my aunts and uncles, and that I had the right to bring about who I was to that party, you guys. And I chose to remember that the gift for me at Christmas was that I have love and acceptance, and I have been forgiven. And if I want to be forgiven, I have to forgive those around me who have hurt me, failed me, disappointed me, not done what I expected my life to look like. And then here's the key to this, you guys. I started sharing my story so that other people could realize that just because bad things happen to you, they probably happened to the bad things that those people did too. People are hurting everywhere. And blame doesn't help. It actually excludes you. It holds you back. It keeps you separate from where you belong. So this Christmas, this season, moving into, what are you keeping yourself on the outside of? Who are you looking at and thinking that you don't have a place with them because you're different? Hurt happens to everyone. Pain happens to everyone. The beauty is that the people that are the happiest, the people that have the most in the world, are the ones that figure out that blaming somebody only affects them. So I really encourage you guys, like, what is it that's holding you back? And if you have someone that you need to apologize to in your family this Christmas, you don't have to wait till Christmas Eve. It'd probably make it awkward. Call them today. If you have to forgive yourself for something, listen, we're not perfect. We're people. We're just figuring it out. But I promise you that if you can learn to quit blaming, to make this present day, this opportunity you have today, to be the one that brings about healing and restoration and hope, you get to do that. So for me, I've changed that gap. The one that I didn't fit in, the one that I couldn't get inside of, I became for others what I needed someone to be for me. And I'm not always good at it, but I became love to those who needed love. And I chose to show up and be forgiving to those who needed forgiveness, you guys, because we all need love and forgiveness. And blame is a bunch of bullcrap. It holds you back. You deserve better. I'm telling you that. Nothing that's happened to you makes you a victim for the rest of your life. Nothing. And I'm serious about that. Get emotional about it. You deserve to be an overcomer, victorious, a warrior. You're fighting for the best life ever today. And I'm going to say it because I believe it. The greatest gift is the gift that Jesus gave when he came, that we would be ultimately forgiven. If you don't believe that, I love you anyways. That's what I believe. It's how I've been set free. But today I ask you to find in your heart forgiveness. Stop blaming and start becoming who you were meant to be. And thank you for watching today, where we talked all things, not about your hair, about your heart, and about your happiness. Thank you and have a great day.